Hello football fans, welcome back to the channel that brings you all things football. Arsenal dropped points away at Liverpool and blew the title race wide open. It now appears that Manchester City are the new title favourites for the current campaign. However, they currently occupy second spot, 6 points behind Arsenal with only 9 games left to play. In this video, I'm going to compare the two teams and see who has the upper hand going into the run-in for the title. I found it relevant to look back at Manchester City's last 9 games of last season. By last season, I mean the 2022 Premier League season. Manchester City won 7 out of 9 games towards the end of last season and only drawing 2. And the highlights of those 9 games was the 2 consecutive games where they scored 10 goals and only conceded 1. And that was against Newcastle and Wolverhampton Wanderers. That is astonishing. And to top it all, the last game of the season, they beat Aston Villa 3-2 to clinch their 4th title in 5 years and break Liverpool hearts. And there's only one thing I can say to that, and that is ruthless Manchester City. So what about Arsenal? How did they do in their last 9 games of last season? Well, they had some contrasting results. They won 5 games and lost 4 in their last 9. The lowlights was the 2 consecutive losses against Tottenham Hotspur and Newcastle, where they conceded 5 goals and scored none. And that resulted in them losing out on Champions League football and finishing 5th. So what have both teams done to show such great form this year and go toe-to-toe for the title? We start off with Manchester City. Manchester City went out and bought Erling Haaland, a player that has just hit the ground running in the Premier League as if he was there for many years. He has scored 30 goals thus far this season and is 5 goals away from breaking the record for the highest goal scorer in a single Premier League campaign. He also has 45 goals in all competitions this season, making him the top goal scorer in Europe's biggest leagues. Arsenal have seen a number of key players rise to the occasion this year. It's players like Bukayo Saka, Gabriel Martinelli and Martin Odegaard. These 3 players have scored a combined 36 goals in the Premier League thus far. And don't forget Gabriel Jesus, the signing from Manchester City, who has already scored 8 goals this season. And had he not been injured in the World Cup, I'm sure that his goal tally would be far higher than 8 goals. It is also important to note that Arsenal have improved defensively as well. William Saliba and Gabriel have formed a formidable partnership in the heart of the Arsenal defense that has seen them with the 3rd best defensive record in the Premier League, behind only to Newcastle and Manchester City. And furthermore, it has seen Arsenal with joint top with Newcastle for the fewest defeats this season with 3. Furthermore, they are joint top with Manchester City for the fewest draws in the league thus far with 4. Manchester City and Arsenal have tough games coming up over the next couple of weeks in the Premier League. Arsenal have games such as City, which is a big one. They've also got Newcastle away. They've got Chelsea at home. They've got Brighton at home. And what about Manchester City? It's not all easy for them either. They have got 3 games against relegation-threatened teams. They have West Ham to play. They have Leicester to play. They also have Everton to play and Leeds to play. All teams that are fighting to survive relegation. So these teams have it cut out for them over the next couple of weeks. However, the one that we all must pay attention to is that game on the 26th of April where Manchester City welcome Arsenal to the Etihad. Will Manchester City continue their dominance over Arsenal, or will Arsenal rise to the occasion and break City hearts? History does favor Manchester City for this title race. They've won 4 Premier League titles in the last 5 years. Arsenal have not been in a title race for many years. The last Premier League title that they won was in 2004 with the Invincibles. It's been 20 years since the last time they lifted the trophy. The fixtures that are coming up also do not favor Arsenal, with a lot of tough games coming up. However, Manchester City's matches against relegation threatened teams, one can only hope that there's no upsets and that they win all those games. Arsenal will be hoping that Manchester City slip up, and Manchester City will be hoping that Arsenal slip up. But the big one on April 26th, Manchester City versus Arsenal, which could be the title decider. Who do you guys think will win the Premier League title? Let me know in the comment sections down below. My name is Hlakanipho Nene. You tuned into Football Xstream. Smash a like on this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to Football Xstream, and I'll see you guys in the next one.